Hello and welcome. This is episode 7 in our series of videos where we're answering the most commonly asked questions that we get about the power station line. And today's question is about this phenomenon that you may or may not have experienced when you're making music at low volume in your bedroom, garage, studio, basement, wherever. And you're plugging your amplifier into the power station, and you turn your power station's volume down extremely low, or maybe you take the reactive load, take the line out of the power station and run that into your computer, and then you're monitoring at low volume through your monitors. Either way, you don't have a lot of ruckus coming out of your cabinet to fill out the sound in the room. And so things are really quiet, and then you start to play your guitar and you hear this sound. And you wonder, what the heck is this? So, in order to get more insight into the subject, we asked Steve Fryette, the designer of the power station, to elaborate. We asked him this question.
Hey Steve, how come when I'm using the power station at low volumes, I hear spirits coming out of my amp?
That's something that the first time I played an amp loud and had a cabinet in another room, I was fascinated by it, but I wasn't mystified by it. I was just fascinated by it when I heard the sound of my amp being played coming from the amp, but the cabinet wasn't anywhere nearby, and it was coming from the amp. And that might have been the first time that I started experimenting with load resistors, and I was making kind of a proto attenuator. So this is a long time ago. And that's when I first heard that, and I just thought, how cool. This is my amplifier really working, and I'm able to sort of experience this. How am I able to experience it? Well, the cabinet isn't right there. So the cabinet isn't eating up all the bandwidth, the volume, air pressure bandwidth in the room. And that leaves your ear sensitivity to pick up other things in the room that you wouldn't have been able to pick up before. So what's happening? When you plug your amp into a cabinet and play loud, the tubes send power to the output transformer, and the output transformer converts that power into a different impedance that is compatible with the speakers that you're using. And that's the job of the output transformer, to just convert one impedance level to another impedance level. It has to be big because you're running a lot of power through it, and you're running a wide range of frequencies through it. So frequency and power needs mass in order to process. So what you have with an output transformer is a coil of wire around a core, and that's what's doing that job. Now this is an output transformer with the covers removed, and so you see this is the core. It's a bunch of layers of silicon steel stacked on top of each other, and then this is the coil. This is the input side, called the primary, and the output side, called the secondary. This is what's converting the impedance from the level that the power tubes are operating at to the level that the speakers are operating at. The interesting thing that happens with this is, because it's like a guitar pickup, it's got a coil of wire around basically a magnet. It becomes a magnet, it's just steel, but once you energize it with volume, with power, it becomes an electromagnet. So, just like a speaker, when a coil around an electromagnet gets excited by current, it vibrates. And it vibrates at the frequency that is being fed into it. So if you're playing guitar, it's going to be vibrating at all the frequencies that you're playing into your speaker cabinet. Now, if you disconnect the speaker cabinet, well, you can't do that because you're not supposed to disconnect the cabinet from the amp, or you'll blow the output transformer. Yes, but if you put it into an attenuator like the power station that you can run in silent mode, or a reactive load like the power load, where you're just absorbing all the power of the amp into a little load resistor setup, then the speakers aren't filling the room with sound anymore. And what's left is whatever ambient noise is in the room. And one of those ambient noises is going to be this little guy vibrating away at all the frequencies that you're going to play at. And in that environment, especially sitting on a metal chassis that actually helps amplify the vibration coming off the transformer, you're going to hear the spirit of your amplifier speaking to you through the air. That's what that is. Now, in the power station, it also has resistors and inductors are coils of wire around a metallic core of some sort. So similar to the way a speaker or an output transformer is designed, the reactive load absorbs that power and in the process vibrates and reacts to the power that's being dumped into it. And you'll hear that coming out of the top of the power station too. Why did you hear those now when you didn't hear them before? Simply because you didn't have the speakers connected, or you had the power turned way down so that the speaker volume was at the threshold of or below the threshold of the vibration coming from the head or the power station that you can hear, or the cab's not connected at all. And that's all that is. It's just those components vibrating in sympathy with the frequencies that you're playing.
Well, why, thank you, Steve. I couldn't have said it any better myself. In fact, I couldn't have said any of it myself because I didn't know any of it. I'm a silly guitar player who's only here to ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification icon so we can continue to grow this channel, because it seems like a pretty good idea. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one, and cheers!